Hi there, my name's Amy and I'm going to be sharing this presentation with you for my ESL 509 class. My intended audience is grade 5. It's a general education setting with ELL students who are at a level 4 to 5 in their language learning. My goals and objectives for the lesson. My goals are to learn about and use prefixes, suffixes, roots in oral and written language, to orally pronounce words that have added prefixes or suffixes, and to create multiple words using roots. My language objectives include reading, writing, and implementing the understandings related to today's topic, understanding prefixes, suffixes, roots, and their purpose, formative and summative assessment. Today I'll be using a station format to assess students on learning goals. Other assessment opportunities happen naturally throughout the lesson and at the end in the form of an exit slip and homework assignment. How I will be using CALL. I'll be using technology throughout the lesson using media, video clips, and gaming opportunities at the station activity. Okay, boys and girls, today we're going to be learning about how words are created. Would someone like to read the learning objective for today? Thank you. Let's go ahead and get started. What are words? With a partner, you have 5 minutes to come up with as many words that begin with re or pre, or including, that end in ness or full. Go ahead and get started. That's great, guys. I can see that many of you came up with many words like pre-write, prefix, awesomeness, etc. And you may not have noticed, but these words actually are made up of different parts, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Let's go ahead and get started with a quick video on words.
Okay, that should do it. Your speech function is now installed.
Hello, Tim. You are my best friend. Thank you for the gift of speech. Now give me $50.
No, I don't have $50.
Give me $50. Give me $50. Give me $50. Give me $50.
Well, that's better. Dear Tim and Moby, where do words come from? I've always wanted to know. From Kaylin. Well, words come from lots of different places. The study of word origins is called etymology. Every language has its own history, so we can't possibly tell you everything there is to know. But no matter what the language, there are a few basic ways that words come into it. The first is by borrowing from another language. For example, the word kimono comes from Japanese. English-speaking people heard it and took the word for themselves. There are plenty of other words like this: bagel from Yiddish, ukulele from Hawaiian, and shampoo from Hindi. Words like these are called loan words. Yeah, I don't know why they're called that. I mean, it's not like we're going to give them back. Words are also formed by combining older words together.
Okay, does anyone want to tell me what etymology means? Great, thank you. What about how words are created and formed? Excellent. Let's go ahead and move on to our big idea for today. First concept is prefixes. Prefixes are smaller parts that go at the beginning of a word. And when you add a prefix, it changes a word's meaning. Next, we have suffixes. Suffixes are the opposite of a prefix. They go at the end of the word. When you have a suffix, it also changes a word's meaning. While we watch the next video, by the end you should be able to tell me the difference between a root, prefix, and a suffix.
What you doing? You want to study geology? I thought you were studying biology.
2 weeks ago, it was Greek mythology. Mythology. Dear Tim and Moby, I just don't understand prefixes and suffixes at all. Please help. From Pat. Words can be broken down into different parts. Roots, prefixes, and suffixes. A root is the essential part of the word, and it can be broken down into any smaller parts. A prefix is a part of the word that goes before the root, and suffixes come after the root. How do you know what all the parts mean? Well, mostly it comes with practice. Prefixes and suffixes have definitions, just like root words. Let's look at the word dehydration. The prefix is D, the root is hydro, and the suffix is shun. D is a common prefix that means lack of. Hydra, the root word, comes from the Greek word for water. And shun here means something like a state of being. So if you put it all together, you can figure out the meaning of the word dehydration, a state in which something or someone lacks water. Let's look at another example. Unpleasantness. The prefix is un, which means not. Un is a really common prefix that we see in a lot of words. Uncommon, unlikely, undecided, unclear. Pleasant is the root word. Ness is the suffix, which means state of. So unpleasantness means the state of not being pleasant. Adding a prefix or suffix to a root word changes its meaning, and often it's part of speech. Well, adding the prefix un changes the meaning of pleasant to mean its opposite. Adding the suffix ness changes the word pleasant from an adjective into a noun. Well, no, not all words are made up of all 3 parts. Here's another word that has only 2 parts. Biology. The root is bio, which comes from the Greek word for life. Ology, or logy, is a suffix that means the study of. So biology means the study of life. A lot of prefixes and suffixes come from Greek and Latin words. If you learn what some of them mean, you can figure out definitions of words you thought you didn't know.
Okay, so in the video, I'd like you to turn and talk with the person next to you, and I'd like you to share what you now know about roots, prefixes, and suffixes. Great. True or false? Do all words always contain a prefix or a suffix? Great. Let's move on with this activity. Below are listed some prefixes and suffixes. I'd like you to think about which the word would be, whether it would be a prefix or a suffix. Let's take a look at the first one. Full. What do you think it would be? Wonderful. What about re? Great. All right, let's move on. Root words. Root words are words that a prefix or suffix are added to. A root word must be a word on its own with no prefix or a suffix. Please make sure you're following along on your worksheet, filling in the notes we have taken so far. Okay, let's take a look at the next activity. We're going to look at our words here that contain prefixes and suffixes and see which word and definition they can go to. So let's take a minute and look at the board. All right, we know from our notes that without contains the suffix less. Does anyone know what word would fit this description? Excellent. Wonderful. Let's keep going. All right. Ooh, we see the word again. That should be our signal word for the prefix. Oh, that's correct. Re. To play again. Wonderful. Replay. Great job. All right, now that we know suffixes and prefixes, I'd like you to turn to your partner and I'd like you to take a root word and add either a prefix or a suffix to it. Excellent. Now I want you to discuss the question, how can we use them in our own language? That's correct. We can use prefixes and suffixes to create new words and add to our existing language that we already know. So we're going to be continuing with a little more practice, and we're going to be incorporating some games into this. I'm going to be assessing you on today's lesson in our station format, which we're very familiar with. My red team, you're going to be station 1. You're going to self-select a game to review today's topics, and you can find the site on my file folder. My purple group, station 2, you're going to be completing worksheet number 1. You know where to find that in the crate. And station 3, you're going to be doing a little quiz for me to show me what you know. If you are finished, independently read, and I'd like to challenge you to find prefixes and suffixes as you go. Our stations will be rotated every 8 minutes, and by the end you should have a very clear understanding on the importance of prefixes, roots, and suffixes in our daily language. Boys and girls, you did a great job on your station activity. I saw a lot of teamwork, a lot of focus, and most of all, a great understanding of what our learning objective was today, to use suffixes, prefixes, and root words in our oral and written language. Pat yourselves on the back and give someone close by a high five. Now, to end up before lunch, write down 3 new things you learned today about words. It can be anything from the BrainPop videos to the work we did in the stations. Once you have those 3 things written down in your exit slip, you can go ahead and put that at the jar at the door and line up for lunch. Just a reminder, tonight's homework is a spelling worksheet where you'll also be using your prefixes, suffixes, and root words.